a desperate challenge from Milanic on Shevchenko. And Dimitrulin lobs it forward, hopefully. Such calmness under pressure from Milinovic. Out comes Shovkovsky again, and Vasyuk. There can't be long left. Herr Heinemann has had a look at his watch. And there's the final whistle. And against all the odds, Slovenia have done it. 3-2 on aggregate. And they're in to Euro 2000, the team that everyone wrote off as no hopers, Jerry.
Absolutely, thoroughly deserved the result. I'm really pleased. You can see by the expressions how pleased they are. Tremendous result, thoroughly deserved.
And so, hats off to Slovenia and their coach, Zreko Katanec.
Euro 2000 with Fujifilm.
Carlsberg, part of the game.
Kia, in gear.
And Air France, official carrier for the French football team.
Sports Centre with Fila.
John Toshek has been sacked by Real Madrid, his second spell at the club coming to an end after a run of poor results. Total spending by the Welshman came close to $100 million as he brought in Nicolas Anelka and Steve McManaman. Amongst others, Anelka failed to settle. McManaman, of course, he's been stifled by injury. Last night, Toshek said in the press that he'd been sacked by Real Madrid before, and he'll probably be sacked by them again. The prediction came true this morning. Yes, even Elguera spoke on behalf of the team and said that it's still come as something of a surprise, he said. The suddenness of it, he says, has come as something of a shock. Toshak out of a job, a replacement not yet known. Don Hutchinson strike not enough for Scotland. England through to Euro 2000, 2-1 on aggregate. Denmark progress at the expense of Israel. Slovenia also through 3-2 on aggregate, 1-1 on the night. Ireland fail in Turkey. Goalless this evening. Turkey through because of that away goal. The European Under-21 Championships, the playoffs, and Italy up against France. The Italians playing here in the blue, and it was France that got off the mark very early indeed. Just 2 minutes, the game old, and Thierry Henry of Arsenal put the French ahead. Well, Basile was sent off for the French, down to 10 men in the second half. Camandini of Vicenza levelled the score on the hour mark. That made it level on aggregate. The opening match had finished 1-1 as well. Piello putting Italy through. 2-1 it finished on the night. And the other qualifiers, Netherlands move on, as do Croatia. The Czech Republic and Slovakia are all through to the European Under-21 Championships, and of course, more importantly, have booked themselves a place in the Olympics. Liverpool's troubles continue, not only on the pitch, but off it as well. A run of injuries and lacklustre performances have cast a cloud over Anfield of late. Today, Liverpool confirmed that they'd made an operating loss of £5 million during the season. Partially, of course, because of that £36 million a year wage bill. And not just European football, but European basketball, the EuroLeague. We're still in the pool stage. Barcelona here in the yellow and blue up against Cholet of France. And indeed, Cholet were the ones who led at the break, 37-35, but Barca was scoring beautifully as the game drew to a close, and were to win this one 71-62 on the night, and they topped the group. this Group A looks like this. It was Barcelona on top ahead of PAOK Saloniki, who won away at CSKA Moscow this evening, 82 points to 71. Moscow level on points with PAOK. A few games still to play in this. Meanwhile, in Group C, Lasko, Slovakia here in the white, up against Villeurbanne in the green. And Villeurbanne with a lead of 41 to 35 at the break, and they were to take this one 80 to 69 on the night. Seals with 9, Laraga picking up 19 points, and Sonko, the game's top scorer, with 24. And Podgorica have beaten Istanbul 86 to 80, which is Zagreb leading this group on goal difference. Istanbul in second place now. Well, one of the most dramatic days of sailing so far in the Louis Vuitton Cup saw Dennis Connor's Stars and Stripes up against arch rival America One, skippered by another sailing legend, Paul Cayard. Strong winds ripped to shreds the spinnaker of America One. Took Cayard's experienced crew less than a minute to unfurl a reserve. Connors took advantage. America One was playing catch-up, pushing a little too hard. The new spinnaker touching Stars and Stripes. That brought in a penalty turn and left Connors with victory on the day.
Yes, it was obviously a great race. I think it was probably equally exciting for both crews. And when you're a little kid and you dream about what the America's Cup's all about, that's the type of race that you always imagine it's going to be. It was as thrilling, believe me, on the boat as it probably was from watching it from off the boat.
Thrilling indeed. The Louis Vuitton Cup standings all but settled now. Just a couple of races remaining. And these are those standings. Prada Challenge already through to the finals. Of course, the final phase, the America's Cup itself, starts February the 12th. The top 6 go through. It'll be Prada, America True, Stars and Stripes, America One, Young Nippon, and the Nippon Challenge. Anke Huber is on fine form at the WTA World Championship Finals today. Dominant in her match against Francis Julia Allard. 6-1, 6-2 is the final score, and it means that Huber will face either Amelie Mauresmo or Lindsay Davenport, a match you can see live in just a few moments' time here on Eurosport. And it was tribute time in New York. The entire WTA field playing tribute to Steffi Graf, honoured and moved by the occasion, as past and present players gave her regards.
Thanks to everybody who made my life very special, and I'll miss you all. Thanks.
And we shall miss Steffi Graf as well, one of the all-time greats on the tennis circuit.
All right, one last. Sports Centre with Fila.
Do stay with us. As promised, it's live tennis next here on Eurosport. Davenport, Mauresmo. It's worth staying with us.
In the world of international business, one never knows where opportunity may lead. Yet some business travelers approach this world with confidence, not concern. You can't always identify these individuals by how they carry themselves, but you can distinguish them by something else they carry. Diners Club, the right answer in any language.
Wherever you look, there's always something plus. The Wagon R Plus, a Suzuki original.
travelling the globe through a year of action, where will the journey end?
Have you experienced the new Kia? The new Kia in gear. A most surprising driving experience. Get in gear with Kia and discover the real meaning of value.
What sets the digital world in motion? TI Programmable DSP, a technology that creates new markets with crystal clear images, new ways to envision the future. And when new generations evolve, rather than retool and replace, you can simply reprogram. Hardware, software, open thinking. It's the driving force of the digital world. From the world leader in DSP and analog, Texas Instruments.
Super Goals Replay is brought to you by Texas Instruments.
Saudi Arabia was the revelation of the '94 World Cup. With Sayed Awaren's goal, there's no doubt it will always remain in everyone's mind. The young Arab crossed the field almost from end to end to beat the Belgian goalkeeper Michel Prudhomme. Owaren gets the ball in the middle of his half, and then the midfielder starts his crossing of the Belgian desert. He goes past 4 Belgian players. After nearly 70 metres in 10 seconds, Owaren finishes his marvellous run with a kick right under the bar. The football world will never forget this goal.
Super Goals Replay was brought to you by Texas Instruments.
The Chase Championships, sponsored by
Suzuki Automobiles. See the originality.
And ABB.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Madison Square Garden, New York, for the end of season Chase Championships. The last 2 matches to complete the first round will be played tonight. Who will join Hingis, Pierce, Shett, Tozier, Van Roost and Huber in the quarterfinals? Well, you can see the Venus Williams-Conchita Martinez match tomorrow. But coming up live in just a moment, the number 2 seed, Lindsay Davenport, up against Amélie Mauresmo of France. Davenport has arrived here in New York, fresh from victory last week against Hingis in Philadelphia, thereby collecting her 6th title of the year. That victory 6-3, 6-4 against Hingis.
Obviously coming off winning in Philadelphia is going to hopefully help me here, but every match is difficult here, no matter who you play, and you know, each tournament's starting new, so hopefully I'll play as well as I did last week, and hopefully the result will be the same.
Well, Lindsay Davenport, twice a runner-up here, both in '94 and again last year. But this year she's arrived feeling confident.
This is actually the 4th time we've played this year. I lost to her in Australia and beat her the last 2 times, so I think we both know each other's games, and she obviously had a great tournament in Australia, just played unbelievable tennis. When I played her, she just played great, and she's very talented, and it's going to be a tough match, but the last 2 times I played pretty well against her, so hopefully I figured out how to beat her, but you never know.
Well, that semi-final down in Australia. Mauresmo coming through 4-6, 7-5, 7-5. What a tournament she had there. And since then, Amélie Mauresmo has gone from strength to strength. Well, Mauresmo saying that that match in Australia was one of her best moments, but of course also the Girls de France in Paris was fantastic too. But Australia is certainly one of her best memories. The last two matches she's played have been put her opponent under pressure, and of course she and Davenport know each other's games very well indeed. Try and force her into errors, but she'll see. Well, as you can see, the players just about ready for this first round in counter. We'll go across to a commentary team of Elise Bergen and, first of all, Simon Reed.
Jill, thanks very much. And there is the imposing figure of Amélie Mauresmo. You mentioned the Australian win. It was the win of her life against Lindsay Davenport. But since then, the rocketing success that she had was halted until the last couple of weeks, and she's suddenly started to show real form again. She hasn't beaten anybody spectacular, but she's winning again, and winning time after time. She won the tournament in Bratislava, and she got to the semi-final in Linz, beat Patty Schneider on the way, and Barbara Schwartz before going out to Mary Pierce. The head-to-head, 2-2. Mauresmo winning in the German Open last year and the Australian. And this year, two convincing wins for Lindsay Davenport. At New Haven, winning 6-1, 6-2. And then in the Toyota Princess tournament, in the quarter-final, winning 6-1, 6-1. Davenport with two crushing victories in their last two matches. Simon Reed alongside Elise Bergen. And Lindsay, last week in Philadelphia, was spectacular.
Oh, she was devastating last week, especially in beating Martina Hingis. Just dominated Hingis. So confident in her game. We know how hard she's worked, and it's now just all come together these past 2 years, and just overpowering opponents. And it's easy. She does it easily with great fluidity, and you just have to be so impressed with what she's done.
And there you see it. Best result, champion Wimbledon. She won the US last year. That was the pinnacle of her achievement, and really she went on to rival that with a wonderful win at Wimbledon. Some of the damage was done earlier on, of course. Jelena Dokic taking out Martina Hingis in the opening round. Things fell well for Lindsay, but she took her chance. And as you see there, twice a finalist here in '94 when Sabatini beat her, but she beat Anke Huber, Jana Novotná and Mary Pierce on the way. And then last year she beat Sandrine Testud, Natalie Tozier and Steffi Graf before going out to Hingis. At that stage last year she was the #1 in the world. She lost that in February this year, despite the fact that she's won 6 titles. Amélie Mauresmo winning in Bratislava just a few weeks ago, her first title of her career. You know there are going to be many more, but how many at the very top? That's the key.
Well, I think when she got to the finals of the Australian Open, all of a sudden everyone expected her to be winning every single week because she is just this incredible talent. But I wouldn't say she took a step backwards after the Australian Open. She just didn't win the way people expected. She has a talent that most players would dream to have, but you've got to have the discipline to go along with it, and I don't think we've seen that in the months since the Australian Open, and hopefully now it will be that combination of the talent and then realizing that you need to have the discipline and working on your game if you want to compete with these top players week in and week out.
You said you saw at the US Open her forehand, she was having real difficulties with it.
She absolutely was, and in watching her there at the US Open, you realize that maybe that she lost some confidence. Her forehand, which was devastating at the Australian Open, was just a shot that she was just basically putting in the court and was kind of covering over it, not hitting through it, and not hitting with confidence. She got to the finals of the Australian Open because she went for all her shots. She hit with great confidence And a player like this, if you're not playing confidently, if you're not going for your shots, she's what I call a shot maker. She's the type of player that will hit shots and you go, oh my goodness, that's incredible. And if she's not doing that, she's not going to be playing her best tennis.
I was just watching on the box our coverage on Philadelphia on Eurosport, and this girl, Lindsay Davenport, was just unbelievable. I have never seen a woman play as well as she did in the semi-final when she beat Venus Williams 6-1, 6-2. Venus played well. She was just blasted off the court with massive power, massive consistency. And there's the draw. The bottom half, the winner here takes on Anke Huber, who early on today dispatched unceremoniously Julie Ala Dekugis 6-1, 6-2, and then later on, further up, Dominic van Rooster, Belgium, will take on Natalie Tozia. But wasn't Davenport spectacular?
Well, she was, and the word you said, consistency. As someone with this power, I mean, this is a player that can just overwhelm you. And when a player that is that strong and that powerful can play consistently, can hit consistently, the combination is just devastating. And that's what we saw with Lindsay Davenport last week in Philadelphia. And I expect we're going to see a lot of the same now.
Just to put you in the picture, I didn't see the final, but I saw the semi-final. In the final, she beat Martina Hingis, the world #1, her greatest rival, 3-4. So straight sets wins there. So her confidence will be imposing. And it'll be interesting to see how Amelie here starts. The start will be important for her. She's a great on-top player, isn't she?
And a lot's going to depend on her serve. She's got to get a high percentage of first serves in, because when you play a Lindsay Davenport, you know if you're not getting first serves in, she's going to take that second serve and you'll be in trouble right off the bat. Lindsay Davenport has that, what we call that first strike ability. She can put you in trouble right off the bat, off of her serve and off of her return of serve. And if Mauresmo is scrambling around and on the defensive right from the start, it's going to be in big trouble.
Looking very, very relaxed. Watched her practicing earlier on today, practicing with Martina Hingis, and it was a severe workout. The two of them pretty good friends, even though there's intense rivalry. But what Lindsay would love is what Martina got last year, this title. So close a couple of times, but now probably playing even better than last year when she was #1 in the world. She's #2 now. But this is probably the pinnacle of her form, so it couldn't be timed better for her.
No doubt, and a player like Lindsay Davenport knows that knocking on that door, knocking oh so closely. You have Serena Williams, you've got Venus Williams, players whose talent, I mean, we've never seen that combination of physical prowess, strength, athleticism before in the game. And I think a player like a Lindsay Davenport knows that as they improve, it's going to be much more difficult for her to possibly win Grand Slams, dominate slams. And so she recognizes that now is her time. It really is.
Yes, people come in at a new level, don't they? They come into the game at a higher level than you started. Girls like Mauresmo, who's, what, just a couple of years younger than her, 3 years younger. But an awesome specimen. And the Williams sisters are the same. Eagerly awaited this. So much depends on Mauresmo's confidence and the way that she begins this match. Mauresmo, who this year has earned $815,000 in a career. This year, $539,000. Lindsay Davenport, career earnings of $8,800,000, 2 million of them this year. So we're just about ready to go. Been terrific crowds this week. The first day crowd was the second highest ever on the Monday. And indeed last night, a crowd of over 12,000. Local time, it's just gone 10 past 6. So the people still coming in from work, but it'll be very busy later on. Mauresmo to begin. Years old, from Lay in France.
Good aggressive start. Hasn't gotten the first serve in these first 2 points, but good deep second serves.
Yep. We've seen before that she seems to relish the big occasion, does Amelie. And that borne out by that particular game.
Rado, a different world.
Wherever you look, there's always something plus. The Wagon-R Plus, a Suzuki original.
Back live to the Chase Championships with ABB.
That's the speed of the last serve from Amelie Mauresmo. That's what Davenport has to cope with. Davenport served just a little slower than that, but not by much.